What's up, immortals? It's your boy GM. How's it going? Yukio do chapter 184. Before I start this review, I have two things to say. The first one, please leave a thumbs up to this video. It helps a lot of fans to see this video. And second of all, I have opened a Patreon page to help produce my 3 webcomic projects. Here is the link. You can check it out. I also have a Ko-fi page linked to those projects as well, so you can visit them, subscribe to them, become a patron if you can. Tell a friend or two, or mainly share the link. Any help is welcome to make those dreams come true. Thank you so much. So we know what happened to Kirier at the beginning of the chapter. You see this young lady that happens to be Kirier, who is now grown up, which I was quite impressed to see. There's the talk about the experimental interstellar voyage featuring Tota, and you could see that Kirier was really happy but reluctant. Well, she was happy to see him in the news, but at the same time, she was reluctant to see him again, and we come to discover why. With the help of Gengoro, Tota runs after Kirier, who tries to dodge him, and we discover that she is now powerless. She has lost the ability of rewinding time, which is something big because it's one of those things that made Kiri the way she is. Like, that's what made her an immortal. Actually, that's half of the thing that made her an immortal. There was something else as well that is explained in this chapter. So, what happened to Kirier after Tota left for 42 years and some? During the battle, she was battling against a demon, actually a devil, which, by the way, I really love the design of that devil, called Otius Lovia. And apparently they struck each other, and that caused them to totally disappear from the solar system. I am pretty sure that Otius Lovia, that devil, she must be alive somewhere. I'm pretty sure of this. But as for Kirier, she appeared in an alternate Earth, which was pretty much like ours. There was a virus. It was 2021, like us. There was a virus plaguing the planet, coronavirus. And apparently some monsters from her original dimension slipped through this similar Earth like ours. So she had to battle a lot of monsters. And apparently her adventures were so popular that they were made into manga. So right now I'm thinking, is there a Kirier somewhere in the world? Because if there is, I am so looking for her right now. Kirier went on a journey to find Dana, which was very difficult for a world without magic. But Dana required a payment called a longevity peach. And apparently in the original world, she found that peach and ate it at the age of 12. And that's why she looked always like 10 to 12. Because apparently eating that peach, well, not apparently, it does that. Eating that peach causes you to never age. So when she had that, plus her ability to rewind time, she was virtually immortal. But because of what happened while fighting with the devil, Otius Lovia, she lost her ability to rewind time, and she wasn't ageless anymore. She grew up, which, by the way, let me just make a point of view about her appearances. Honestly, she is so beautiful. Like, that is just my personal point of view. I think that in terms of appearance, charm, elegance, between Kirier, Kourumaru, and Karin, I gotta say, Kirier is, from my personal point of view, again, she is the top one. Like, she is really beautiful. Like, now she's like a young adult, college life, living her own life. She wanted to see Tota, but she felt useless now that she wasn't an immortal anymore. But it's Tota we're talking about. This guy will love you no matter what. After giving the longevity peach from the alternate Earth to Dana, this one transported her to her home world, and it happened that she returned to the time when Tota had just been revived. So that's a pretty cool thing for her. But in the meantime, she grew up. She felt like she wasn't useful anymore for Yuki Older. But again, Tota, hey, I love you no matter what. Hey, it is what it is. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I did not expect to love the chapter. And it turns out, man, I really, really was surprised on so many levels. Actually, just two levels, on the romantic one and the emotional one. First of all, I have to thank Akamatsu for something. Yes, when Tota was reunited with Kourumaru, they had sex. Then with Karin, they had sex. And the first reunion, okay, it was beautiful, making love in the depth of the ocean. It was cute. Then when with Karin in space, it was like a copy paste, and you already know how I felt about that. You know, it just didn't feel authentic, just biting from a moment that is supposed to be timeless, unique, and all that. So in a way, yes, the same thing happened with Tota and Kirier, but there is big differences compared to these two to the two previous reunions. Before continuing on that, I loved how Kirier was really yearning Tota in a physical way, and she knows that she made love to Kourumaru and Karin, and she even admitted to Tota that how did it feel to feel Karin's big breast. Even I wanted to fondle her chest. So it was funny, but to be honest, I'm not even surprised. So yeah, what I love about the reunion between Kirier and Tota, I'm not saying that it wasn't authentic with Kourumaru and Karin, but with Kirier, I don't know, there was something special about that. I feel like it was more heartfelt, more emotional, and more dramatic at the same time, because I feel like the fact that Kirier grew up, she lost her immortal powers. I think this added a new layer on their reunion. Like she was afraid. Again, I'll say it again. She was afraid that Tota wouldn't love her anymore because she lost her immortality, and like she wouldn't see him. She wouldn't be seen towards Yuki Older as useful or whatsoever. But again, it's the complete opposite. So that's one. Two, I have to thank Akamatsu for one thing. I didn't want to see a girl that looks like 10 to 12 being banged up by a guy like Tota who looks physically like a guy in his early 20s. Let's be honest, all right? Like, yeah, technically, Tota is 14, 16. I mean, on a static level, but on a physical level, we know that he gained a lot of muscle throughout all the training that he went through. And considering that the time that he spent being frozen in that mana tree and looking for his friends and all that, he's probably way past 60, 70. Like, he's actually something like that. Between 60 and 80, I would say. But moving on. Kirier, on the other hand, she grew up. She became a young adult, like a young college student. So I am glad that, physically speaking, the sex scene wasn't gross. Like, it was like really two adults making love, having sex. As a matter of fact, I wasn't bothered at all by the sex scene. I thought that, I thought that I would hate the entire chapter because of that. But I feel like when they were making love, it was the most genuine and authentic scene compared to the two previous ones. Because, okay, yeah, the first one with Kourumaru, romantic, special, making love in the water and all that. And then came Karin, copy paste, but just in space. This one, again, it was more natural. That's what I was looking for. It was more natural because the way it brought up to this scene, it was more organic. Like it didn't feel forced. Like it was coming sooner or later. We know that these two would bone, but I felt that there was more realism to this sex scene. Like they were just two young people in love, being reunited after a very long time in the comfort of a home, and just letting their emotions speak physically. And I feel like that's when I saw them really making love for hours and all over all over Kirier's apartment. Like they really went all out. It felt more relatable, more organic, more realistic. So I think that's what I love about this sex scene. It was just it was passionate, it was emotional, it was so deep and all that, but we can all relate to that sort of scene. So I think that's why I really appreciated that scene, because it was more organic. So yeah, I didn't expect to love. I thought I would have hated that chapter because of that scene, but the opposite happened because how it built up to that moment. It was better made. It was better built up. After the sex, Kirier mentions how she is afraid to not being loved by Tota anymore, that she'll grow old and he'll stop caring about her. Again, Tota, when he says he loves you, it's for eternity and beyond. And I believe this is my favorite part of the chapter. We see a dream of Kirier, a distant future where she is an old woman and Tota comes to visit her and they're having tea. This moment was perfect. Like it shows the promise that Tota made to Kirier to always stick by her side. Even though he would go to travel for a few months, he would always come back to her. It was perfect. It was seriously, even though that she was an old lady, they were talking as if they spend their lives together. And I feel like when she woke up and she saw Tota asleep and she smiled at him, for me, it meant that she was okay with that. She was, hey, you know what? I'm gonna grow old, but he's always gonna be there for me, and I'm okay with that. I know that this guy will always love me forever and beyond, and that's okay with that. So I feel like when she was smiling and looking at Tota asleep when she woke up from that dream, I think that she was accepting the fact that I'm gonna grow old, I'm gonna die one day, but it's okay because this man right there loves me passionately, and I accept whatever is to come. And I hope that this dream is a future that will happen, because it's a perfect ending for a relationship between Tota and Kirier. The chapter ends with Tota and Kirier spending the week together, because from Yuki Older point of view, they were expecting to spend at least a week trying to find Kirier. So they decided that, you know what, since Tota already found Kirier, they're just gonna spend a week together as lovers. And it's really cute, it's really beautiful how this chapter ended. I once said that if Tota wasn't meant to finish his life with Yukihime, Kirier would be the best choice. And I believe that this chapter proved why, like why she is the best choice. And I have to say, I did not expect to love the chapter. Like when because the first time that I read it, I saw the sex scene and I'm like, oh fuck. Like first Kourumaru, now Karin, and obviously now Kirier. So like I wasn't too keen to read and love the chapter, but after reading it carefully, I was like, wow, like this was a majestic chapter. I loved it. It was beautiful. After seeing those three reunions, I am more convinced that Tota and Yukihime could end up together. And here's why. When let's say when you ship two people together, all right, and there's a connection between those two characters, whether it's in a novel, movie, manga, whatever. Like the highest point that these two characters can reach positive After seeing those three reunions, I am more convinced that Tota and Yukihime will end up together, or at least have a profound moment together that will lead them to be together at the end. And here's why. When you ship two people together, all right, whether it is in a manga, in a movie, a TV series, whatsoever, a novel, when you ship two people together and there is clearly a connection between those two, like the highest connection they can reach is them being in love. And when that is made official, like two things can happen. Either they go down by breaking up, something happens or whatsoever, something happens for these two to break up, or they just live ever happily after. So the way that I see it for Karin, Kourumaru, and Kirier, like they had their happy ending with Tota. Like you can't get higher than that, unless, well, higher than that would be Tota living alongside with one of them or with all three of them, you know. So and the way that I see it, even though that Tota was able to give those three girls their happy ending, he still hasn't had the happy ending that he has been wanting for a very long time, the one with Yukihime. And we know that if it means loving Yukihime and spending eternity at her side as her lover, let's be honest, Tota will take that chance in a heartbeat. And I believe that, and of course, sorry, I forgot to mention, and let's be honest, the first man that Yukihime loved was Tota. So these two right there, Tota and Yukihime, they haven't had their happy ending. They haven't reached the peak of their relationship. Like I know that Yukihime said, I'm still in love with Nagi Springfield. I loved Nagi Springfield in the past. But the first one that she ever loved was Tota. And these two, they still haven't had their happy ending or their utmost moment in their relationship. So their book is not over yet. So I believe that something's gonna happen. They have to, because Tota is meant to save Yukihime. And until then, these two are somehow meant to be together at some point. Overall, this was an exceptional chapter. I was amazed by it. I didn't expect to love it, but man, did I love it very much. And wow, seriously, Kirier and Tota, look, they really make a cute couple. I love my number one pick, Tota and Yukihime, but I gotta say, Kirier and Tota, it's the next best. It is the next best thing. Seriously, I was amazed by that chapter. So tell me your thoughts about this chapter. Did you love it? Did you hate it? I don't know. I don't read minds. Please use the comment section. Let's all talk about it. Remember to give me a thumbs up for this video, and I really appreciate it. Again, my Patreon and Ko-fi pages for my webcomic projects. The link is down below, or if you saw it at the beginning of the video, check it out. And I'll catch you guys next month. So, Immortals, in the meantime, please do me a favor for your homeboy. Take care of yourselves. And once again, thank you for watching my video. See ya!